Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, Jordan Young, back with another bussin', certified hood classic on God. Today we're going to be talking about the latest news from Nike. Stock prices are finally back up again. And the reason? Well, John Donahoe is going to be stepping down as CEO as of October the 13th, and he's going to be replaced by a long-standing Nike veteran, a guy called Elliot Hill. We're going to talk about how Donahoe managed to fumble the bag, talk a little bit about Elliot Hill, and what does this mean for Nike going forward? If you guys like sneaker related content, be sure to click on the subscribe button below. And if you want to keep up with me in real time, do me a favor and go and drop me a follow over on IG and on TikTok. Firstly, let's quickly talk about Donahoe and how he managed to fumble this bag. Donahoe is a tech guy. He was formerly a CEO at eBay, so he had experience in e-commerce and he had some experience in tech. Didn't have any fashion experience, didn't have any advertising nous. And so when he was appointed as CEO of Nike in 2020, replacing long-standing CEO Mark Parker, there were already some question marks surrounding his appointment. Donahoe's move to Nike could be likened to Kevin Durant moving to the Golden State Warriors in 2016. He was definitely joining a winning team at the time. If you guys cast your minds back to the sneaker game in 2020, particularly early on, right around the pandemic, it was a very different landscape to what it is today. Nike were coming off the back of some really successful collaborations with the likes of Off-White, as well as with Travis Scott. The brand had done much to wrestle the cool back off of Adidas, who had been maintaining a pretty sizable influence among sneakerheads thanks to the Yeezy line. And we were coming into an era in sneaker culture that I don't think has ever been seen before, with the pandemic. Donahoe's specialty being e-commerce and the pandemic striking and everyone all of a sudden shopping online, particularly for Nike shoes that had just become a red hot commodity, couldn't have gotten the bro off to a better start. He must have been sitting there in 2020 thinking, oh my God, the e-commerce platforms with Nike are absolutely booming. I have brought this movement through the sheer weight of my presence. But no, obviously it was down to the pandemic, as well as low interest rates, as well as stimulus money, as well as these burgeoning speculative markets that were cropping up all over the shop, cryptocurrency, collectible markets, alternative asset classes. Like the coalescence of all of these things at the same time must have had Donahoe thinking he had the Midas touch. In 2021, Nike dropped one of their most successful sneakers of all time, the Panda Dunk. These shoes were being made in incredibly large, voluminous amounts, selling out instantaneously, and then reselling on the aftermarket for 3 times the retail price. You can guarantee the Nike execs, the pen pushers, the internal market analysts were watching the markets at the time thinking, oh my gosh, we have got an absolute golden goose here with the Panda Dunk. All we need to do is just restock these on the regular and we are going to sell out every time. Same thing was happening with Air Force Ones. Same thing was happening with Jordan 1s in 2021 as well. Nike must have thought they had hit an infinite money glitch with these 80s retro sneakers that cost barely anything to produce and were reselling for crazy money. But the reliance on these old 80s retro sneakers would ultimately come back to bite Nike and Donahoe in the backside. And so their first mistake was to rely too heavily on these retro sneakers. The second mistake Donahoe made was the direct-to-consumer market strategy. You see, when Nike sells shoes, they either sell them through their own physical store locations or on their own websites or via their own apps, but they also sell through other retail partners who buy the shoes wholesale and then mark them up. The benefit for Nike is that they get to sell a large amount of their inventory, although they sell it at a lower price, but they don't have to worry about the shoes sitting, because at the end of the day, if the shoes go on sale, the retailer will take the hit. But Nike and Donahoe, seeing these sales soaring online, thought, hang on a sec, maybe if we cut out these partners and we just keep all of our stock for ourselves, sell them exclusively on our own website and on our own apps, we'll get to keep way more of the profits. And so Donahoe's second mistake was pissing off the retail partners. The third big mistake that Donahoe made, and this is probably the big icing on the cake really, is the complete lack of innovation over the past few years. You don't need to be a sneakerhead to be annoyed at this. When was the last time Nike brought out a really exciting exciting new shoe. Think about the explosion of running clubs in the past 2 or 3 years. And if you happen to be a runner or you happen to be into fitness or basketball, when was the last time a Nike product was front of mind for any one of those recreational pastimes? The fact that Nike haven't brought out an exciting new running shoe for some time now has enabled other brands to take up the space that Nike left on these other retailers' shelves to capitalize and eat into Nike's market share. Think about brands like Hoka or On Running, Ultra, New Balance, Asics, Mizuno, Brooks. There's a ton of running brands that have gained a foothold into the market thanks to Nike's lack of innovation and lack of store presence. The writing has been on the wall for some time now. Donahoe has basically been a dead man walking. In an earnings call at the start of summer, Nike share prices had absolutely tanked, falling to record lows because sales were down, forecasts were bleak. Investors even sued Donahoe for broken promises. In fact, the only way that Donahoe could continue to maintain profitability within the company was to massively cut jobs at the high end and at the low end. And if you're an investor, you don't want to see profit margins coming about because of cost cutting. You want to see profit growth and sales growth thanks to new innovation and exciting products on the horizon. And the kicker to all of these costs being cut and these expectations not being met and this shareholder anxiety is the fact that Donahoe has been recouping a hefty $29.3 million annual salary from Nike. Wow! And now he's toast. He's retiring. This almost gives a little bit of Joe Biden to it. It sort of feels like maybe people in the background have grabbed Donahoe's ear and said, bro, we're done taking the L's. Why don't you just bow out gracefully, retire, put your notice in, actually don't even put your notice in, finish immediately, and just go and enjoy your life on the beach and on the golf course. Right, so let's talk about Donahoe's replacements. Elliot Hill, he's gone from being an intern at Nike to the CEO. What a story, what a start. Who couldn't help but be impressed and inspired by that story? So he's a 32-year veteran of Nike and he's had various roles. And his journey began at Nike as an intern in 1988. And over the years, he's navigated through 19 different roles, culminating in his retirement back in 2020, ironic timing given Donahoe's arrival, where he was president of consumer and marketplace. He's also a keen sportsman. He runs, he hikes, he's into cycling, he's into skiing, has a family, seems like a good dude. And so given his track record, his previous successes with Nike, his long-standing relationship with the company, I mean, bro, 32 years, intern to CEO, what a story. Could this be the guy to turn things around for Nike and get sales up again, get growth up again, and get people excited once again for Nike? Well, it remains to be seen. I personally think that Donahoe had to go. Like I said, he's been a dead man walking for some time now. His DTC approach was good until it wasn't. We all know that Nike have been relying way too heavily on the retros. I mean, just look at what they're doing next year. They're retroing absolutely everything. And this type of an approach, whilst it's good for a certain coterie, a certain faction of the sneaker culture, it's not going to appeal to the broad masses who are continually on the lookout for something new, something hot, something innovative. There's only so many pairs of Air Jordans that you really need in your collection these days. And so I think if Elliot can help to get Nike back on track to doing what they do best, which is to innovate, give us great marketing, give us great advertising, give us great, exciting new products, then Nike are going to be able to turn this ship around in no time. Will they be the dominant force that they were back in like 2021, 2022? I don't think so. I feel like the whole sneaker game, the whole footwear game is so spread out right now. I feel like Nike have really given other brands an opportunity to jump in and eat. They might not be able to dominate like they did in the past, but if they can give us some new exciting stuff, I will be definitely keen for that. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this was a good move for Donahoe and Nike? Are you excited about the future for Nike? Let me know down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the weekly sneaker news wrap. Take care for now and peace.